Hello, I'm Ed from the 1912 Exiles podcast, the original, biggest and best podcast for Newport County fans. Long-time listener, but first-time caller to Coleman Had A Dream. Thanks for inviting me on to tell you about where Newport County find ourselves going into the summer break. I think it's fair to say that the mood at Rodney Parade is somewhere between fed up by results, deeply, deeply bored by performances, and curious, verging perhaps on desperate to see whether things change over the summer. We finished 22nd in the 4th Division this season, only one place above the drop zone, but comfortably far enough ahead on points that we were basically safe by Easter. That was no mean feat, given that we'd started the season with an inexperienced head coach, a team of novices. We actually gave 12 players their Football League debuts last season. Some of them did better than others, but it was year zero under a new regime led by Hugh Jenkins, the former Swansea chairman, and we did what we set out to do. We stayed up and we balanced the books. So far, so good. But the discontent and the worry comes from the fact that, contrary to expectation, we really didn't improve as the season went on. If anything, things got worse in the last few months, and there is a feeling of malaise around the place, with a lot of us hovering over our season ticket renewals after a pretty lacklustre set of performances. We have to get better by August, or this is a side that could go down, make no mistake about it. The first thing we need to do is appoint a new head coach after Nelson Jardim's departure once safety was assured. I'm recording this on Monday the 12th of May, and as things stand, we are expecting shortly for David Hughes to be confirmed as the new man at the helm. BBC Wales have reported it, which suggests it's as close to being a done deal as it can be. He's currently involved in the coaching setup within Man United. He's highly rated for working with young players. As a player and as a youth coach, he spent time at Shrewsbury, Cardiff City and Aston Villa, but his only experience in the hot seat was a brief spell managing Barry Town over 20 years ago. So it does feel like another gamble. And I don't mean that pejoratively. Sometimes gambles pay off. That's why people do it. But Newport County have not got much wiggle room at the minute. And if this situation carries on into the summer, I think there are three critical gaps that we need to fill. First and foremost, we need to buy a couple of grizzled midfield bastards. We were toothless in the middle of the pitch last season, and it cost us dearly. Technically proficient, skillful youngsters are great, but in this league, the old cliche of having to earn the right to play remains true, and we need a few streetwise grafters with shaven heads and permanently broken noses who can allow the young guns the freedom to express themselves. The second thing we need is a new goalkeeper. If last year's player of the season, Nick Townsend, moves on, his heroics alone kept us up last year, and he leaves big gloves to fill. And finally, we need to get the feel-good factor back. Recent match days at MP19 have had all the joy of a Radiohead album. We need to find our mojo again, whether that's with a pre-season tour that brings the players and fans together a bit, a good League Cup run early in the season, or even just a lick of paint in the Hazel Stand urinals. We will be doing our bit on the pod, so do check out the 1912 Exiles and subscribe if you don't listen already. And hopefully we will speak to you all again soon. Diolch o galon a pob hwyl am haf. Thanks a lot and best wishes for the summer.